Welcome to our next segment of Professional Automotive Selling Skills. We are going to be looking at step number 4 of the 10-step selling system, which is our product presentation, a critical component in building value that the customer is willing to pay for. Now, we call it a 6-position product presentation because we're going to be covering the entire automobile. Step number 1 of the 10-step selling system, 6PO, is the overview of the car. How does the automobile fit into that particular manufacturer's product lineup? Plus, you'll also talk about what you see in the front of the automobile, from the bumper to the grille, all the way back to the dual sport mirrors, slope back windshield, whatever you see, that is step number 1. Step number 2 is underneath the hood. This is where you'll be discussing the engine system itself. Front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and everything that you see, you can describe the benefits of it to the consumer. Step number 3 then is the driver's side of the automobile, where once again you'll be describing what you see. Everything on the side, the wheels, the body, door handles, even the window sticker if it's there. You will cover step number 3, sliding to the rear of the automobile, where you will then discuss step number 4, which is the rear cargo area of the automobile. You'd be covering the rear cargo area, split folding rear seats if they have it, anything to do with the trunk itself, plus the rear of the automobile as well. This is step number 4. Step number 5 is simply covering anything on the passenger side that you have not already discussed on the driver's side, such as maybe the paint or the body construction, the suspension system possibly, whatever it is, that would be step number 5. So now we've completed the exterior of the automobile. Step number 6, last but not least, is covering the interior, the rear cargo area as well as the front driver and passenger seat area. So those are the 6 basic steps. Front of the car with an overview, the engine, the driver's side, the trunk, or the rear area, the passenger side, and the inside. Now obviously you don't have to do the 6-position robotically step by step. You can mix and match the particular components of the car. The most important thing though is to show the customer the value of the entire automobile. So we're going to break this down into individual components and show you the details on how to do it right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the 6-position product presentation and break it down into what I call selling what you see. Now, the easiest way to learn a vehicle is to look at it. And what do you see? And what you see is what you're going to discuss with your customer. For example, when I look at the front of this automobile, I notice that there is a front bumper cover covering a solid 5-mile-per-hour bumper, so I can talk about that. Now, in selling what you see, I look down here and I notice that I have a front air dam to help control the airflow to hold the front of the car down as well as cool the engine. I also have a very stylistic broad front grille, so I can talk about the airflow into the engine compartment. I also have very stylistic wraparound halogen projection headlamps. We can also look at the hood and talk about the hood creases, the aerodynamics that are built into the hood, as well as the aerodynamics of the flow back windshield so that I have reduced wind resistance. I can talk about the tinted glass, the safety glass in the windshield. I can talk about the blackout stripe around there, just like the blackout treatment on the wipers that reduces glare. And I can talk about the wiper blades themselves. At the front, you can also discuss the dual sport mirrors should you so desire, or you can even discuss the paint on the vehicle if you'd like. I'm selling what I see. It's as simple as that. In opening the hood, you can obviously discuss the beautiful style of the new, in this case, Chrysler emblem, and the secondary locking system that in case somebody forgets to close their hood all the way, it won't fly up. Now, the car will either have hydraulic struts or your manual post as you see here. And you can show them, it gives you an arrow to show you exactly where to put it. Now with an engine turned sideways, that'll be front wheel drive. An engine facing front to back would be rear wheel drive or four wheel or even all wheel drive. So I can discuss the engine configuration. I can look and see that I have an air intake. I want to mention that. I know that I have a battery in there somewhere. In this case, it's set lower in the engine compartment, but I have my battery jump start posts right up on top, fuse system set right up on top, and I can of course see the brake fluid reservoir, so we can discuss that. I know this car has ABS braking system because I can see the component, and as I come around I have power steering fluid, my engine overflow coolant system, and my windshield washer fluid. Now I know this is front wheel drive and it's a 4-cylinder engine, I can see that easily, and it's a 2.4 liter engine, and it even gives me clues about it being a dual overhead cam with variable valve timing electronic control. So I can discuss this with the customer, as I can discuss the engine check as far as the oil and adding oil, even giving the details of the type of oil to add. This one is a 5-weight, 20-weight. So you can start to see that everything is laid out easy and accessible. You even have items such as your dual thermostatically controlled fans that you can discuss with the customer. You can talk about the heat resonator shield up on top. You can discuss the crumple zones in the front for protection of the passengers in the event of an accident. And you can even make mention of the independent suspension front struts, because you see the strut towers right here. So literally all we're going to be discussing is what we see. Selling what we see enables you to sell any car, new or used cars or trucks, just by glancing at it, thinking about it, and building value. Now once we finish with step 2, the engine compartment, we're going to move over to step 3, which is the driver's side. As I come around to the driver's side, I'll also see the wraparound polypropylene plastic cover, and that of course can lead me into the plastic inner wheel well liner that protects the metal from the rocks and stones coming up. We can discuss the tires, we can discuss the aluminum alloy wheels, and of course I can see that it has disc brakes in front as well as disc brakes in the rear. We'll also discuss the lower body protection here and the side impact door guard beam protection that you really can't notice with the naked eye, but I know it's there, it's on every car. I'll discuss the dual sport mirrors, I'll discuss the reach-through grip on the handles, and I will especially spend time on the window sticker if we haven't already discussed it in detail. Now I have a rain drip guard up top where the water slides off, and I'll mention that. This vehicle has a moonroof, and I could mention that either now or when we're on the interior of the automobile. Over here I can accent the 200 nameplate, again in this case brand new, and yet it accents the chrome throughout, so I can talk about what I see and the value that it has to the customer. This vehicle has a fuel filler door on this side. I'm going to discuss it with the customer to show them the value and ease of operation of having it on this side of the vehicle. I will then continue with the wraparound polypropylene plastic, wraparound brake lights, as it segues right into the rear of the automobile. Again, selling what I see. I have my rear antenna for the radio or for satellite radio as well. I also have my third high brake light, tinted glass all the way around, rear window defroster. Again, the blackout treatment as was present in the front windshield. In the back, you again can repeat any information about the logo of the vehicle, accenting the chrome, highlighting the rear tail light and the stylistic approach to how they designed the back, even coupling the chrome accent down here with, again, polypropylene extra protection at the base of the car. With this automobile, you have your interior release for the trunk. You also have a release on your key. Hold it twice and it opens it up. And you'll discuss the opening of the rear cargo area, the ease of access, the additional soundproofing and carpeting throughout, the strut system that would hold the back trunk open, as well as the emergency spare tire, the rear cargo, extra insulation, and if it had split folding rear seats as this vehicle does, that's a great way to segue to the interior of the automobile if you'd like at that time. You also don't want to forget to mention something as simple as your emergency release for the interior. Of course, once you've gone over step 4, we'll continue to step 5, which is the passenger side of the vehicle. And again, that is simply highlighting anything you haven't already discussed on the driver's side. Now, step number 6 is on the interior of the automobile. And you would again continue to sell what you see. In the back area, you'd sell the cargo area, the cup area, the type of interior finishes, the doors, mat pockets, the interior itself, leg room, headroom, the carpeting, the back support, center console fold down, whatever it is that you see in the rear of the vehicle, as well as fold down cargo area with, in this case, our 60/40 split folding rear seat. You'll be discussing the driver's interior features as well as the passenger's interior features. And that would include, for example, the controls that are on the armrests for the windows and for the locks, for the side mirrors. You could discuss your stereo system, the air conditioning unit, ventilation system, the gauge packages, the controls on the steering wheel, your center console and transmission, making sure they understand how to operate that as well. And of course, your ease of access for the glove box, for the center console area, the power sources, your internet access points for your MP3s, your storage compartments, whatever it is you see in the car, that's what you'll be discussing in great detail, so that the customer sees a value and feels very comfortable when it's their turn to drive the car. Well, there you have the basic features that we'll be discussing when we do our 6-position product presentation. But now we want to make sure the customer sees a value, so we're going to use the fact, advantage, value process. Giving them a fact about the car, such as it has front-wheel drive, the mechanical advantage, the engine's turned sideways with the weight over the drive wheels to give it improved traction and handling, and then the real value, that this front-wheel drive vehicle will help keep their family safer and improve the performance of the vehicle. So we'll be doing that throughout the entire product presentation, and I'll show you how in our next video.